Thank you very much, all of you. So in this session, we'll be concentrating on file handling. And in file handling, there are different ways of file handling, but we'll be concentrating on random access file. So why we require file handling basically? Because if we want to store our information permanently in the computer, then all the information that we have input and stored in the variable must be transferred to the file, because files are created in the hard disk, and whatever we keep in the hard disk, it is permanent, and variables are created in the RAM, and whatever we keep in the RAM is temporary. By temporary, we mean that as soon as we will switch off our computer or we will end our program, we'll close our program, all those values in RAM or in variables will be deleted. But in real life situations, suppose we are creating a attendance management system or a banking system or a library system. So all these systems need to store the data permanently. So to store data permanently, we can use two methods. One is called database management system and other is called file management system. So we will be today concentrating on file management system, and I'll try to explore and let all of you know what are the different classes and methods in the form of library that is available in Java programming and how we can use them. So first of all, I'll run the last program that we have discussed. Maybe uh, if you are not remembering. Yes, so this is the form that we created in the last class. Now, suppose we take input in the ID, name, mobile, gender of user and submit it. Then this information has to be stored permanently so that next time when we will be uh, running the same program, we can get all those values. Okay, so for that, we will be requiring the concept of file handling, because in the last program, in the last session, when we were discussing this form design part, we only took input from the user and showed it on the right side, that is in this text area. But what if we close the program and next day we want to see all those information, next time also we want to explore those information, then we will have to store all those things into a file. So here on the left panel, you can see that we have created a people2.dat file, or a person people2.dat file. This is the dat file, data file that will store all the data. So if we store, like I entered two, the name is suppose Archana, mobile number is suppose female, date of birth, I can leave it, and I accept my condition. And when I submit, you can see that this information is showing Archana, mobile number, date of birth. There are some gaps. Why those gaps are there, that we are discussing. This is ID2, name is Archana, mobile number is this, date of birth, and some more information. Now, suppose I close this program. Okay, I run this program again. I enter one more information in it. Whenever I submit, you see the previous informations are also saved, and we can see all those information because I have added a file at the back end. So there are two parts of an application. One is called the front end and one is called the back end. Back end is the file where we are storing the information. We are storing the information in this people2.dat file. And this is the screen. So in the last session, we have seen the how to create forms. In the last 3-4 sessions we have been discussing on form designing. So today we'll be concentrating on how we can store it in a file so that it can be reused whenever we require it. So there are a lot of code, lot of information that is required. Let me show the code of this program that I have added, this register user.java. All of you who have attended the last session, you might be remembering that these are the uh, containers, labels, combo boxes, and these are the this is how we were adding all those components onto the screen. Then we have seen, this is all that we have discussed, how one by one we have added things onto the screen. Then what will happen when the person will click the submit button and the reset button. So these are the new buttons. So this is the same program, exactly same program, but what I have done, I have added this person class because we want to store ID, name, mobile, gender, this. And I have created one person record, which is a child class of the person class. Here I have added some more functions. These are the things that we need to discuss. And then I have created one more class in the same program. But if I directly explain this, you will not be able to understand. So I'll do it one by one slowly so that you understand. And then I'll come back to this program so that you have the thorough knowledge of what we want to do. Now, one thing is clear that file handling means we will open a file through our program, store the information and close it. And whenever we will require that data again, we'll open that file, read those information and display it. And this can be done in two ways. One is called sequential access and one is called random access. In sequential access, what happens whenever we store a file that is stored at the end, and whenever we read a file, we start reading from the beginning. What I mean by that, let me open a file. I'll show you sequential access. There are two methods in which we can access a file. One is sequential access and one is random access. So in sequential access, what happens? Suppose there is a record, Raj, and male and date of birth. Suppose there are two records stored. Now, see, in sequential access, suppose this is three records. Whenever I start reading the file, I'll always start from the first record, then I'll move to the second record, then I'll move to the third record. So in sequential access, we read from the beginning and we write. Write means adding something. We always add at the end. Suppose we want to add something, so we'll add it here. Four. This is how we access a sequential access file. We read from the beginning, we write at the end. But in random access, we can read by default from the start and write by default at the end. But we can change the position and directly read from anywhere. This is a facility in random access. So random access is more flexible. Now, suppose there are 1 lakh record and we want to uh, we want to print the 99,000th record. So in sequential access, what will happen? First, we'll have to cover all those records from the beginning, and then we'll reach at the 90,000th record. So it will be a very slow process. But in random access, we can directly move to a particular position and read data or write data wherever we want. That is why in record storage system where we want to store some records, random access is a better method. So once again, why file handling is required? File handling is required whenever we want to store information permanently. Number one, there are two ways to access sequential access and random access. In sequential access, we start reading from the beginning, but in random access, write and read can happen anywhere because we have seek function with the help of which we can move anywhere in the file. Now I'll show you some of the definitions of random access files, and then we'll run those programs and see the output so that you have a better understanding. So I'll come to the random access. This is the random access information. This is the overview. Overview, I have already given what is random access file. This I have already given. So there are seek pointer with the help of which we can move to a particular position. How we'll move, I'll show you through a program. We also have a get file pointer. Now, this is also, these are the functions, these are the methods in the class random access file. So whenever we want to have file and handling going on, we want to create object of random access file. And with the help of that, we'll use different things. Length function gives the size of the file. With the help of length, we can know what is the exact size of the file. Then to read data from a file, we have a read function. To read data and store in a byte, we have read byte function. We'll see all of these. And now let us come to the first example. So I'll directly come to the first example here. And let us try to understand this. So whenever we will be using random access file, we have to import random access file class from java.io package. And we have some exceptions which can happen. So we have to import java.io exception also. Coming to the main function, this is a random access file class. This is a library class. This is an object. RAF is an object. I can name it my file, your file, RAF, F, X, whatever. This is the object that we are creating. And in the constructor, we have to pass two values. First is the name of the file which we want to use for reading or writing. And second is the mode. Mode tells us why we want to access this file. So R stands for reading, W stands for writing. We can use both of them. We can use one of them. We can use any of them. So here in this line, we are creating object of random access file class, and we are telling the computer that we will be using file.txt for reading purpose. Now, what is there in file.txt? I have already created a file.txt. So this is file.txt. Hey users, welcome to the file handler. There's a sample file to display various functionalities of random access file in Java. So this is stored in file.txt. How I have created this file? Just go to this, give a name, file2.txt, and here you can create hello entrance. To Java random access file session. And then I can go and save the file. So this is how we can create a file. And if we want to read this file, the information that we have stored, then we have to mention it here. file 2.txt, and then we have to enter the mode. So the computer will know that the user wants to access this file for reading. Now we have a seek function. The seek function will take the pointer to the fourth position. Okay, so in the file.txt, what is the fourth position? U. U is the fourth position. Okay, so it will start reading from U. If we mention 0, then it will start reading from a start position. And if we do not use the seek also, then also it will start from the 0 position. So I'll make a comment and then we'll see. So at the moment we are reading from fourth position. Then we are creating an array so that we can read data and store in this array. And then we have a read function. This read function will read from file.txt from the fourth position and store the data into the bytes array. So what is this doing? This is storing the file data into the array. And then we are closing the file. And now if we print the bytes array, then it will show whatever we have read from the file. So let me run so that we can have a better idea what is happening. It is showing welcome, users welcome. Okay, let me clear everything so that it is better. And let me come down. What is happening? File.txt. Let me show file.txt. This is the file.txt, and this is our program. In this program, what we are doing, we are reading from fourth position and storing in an array of size 15. You can see the size of the array is 15. So from the fourth position, we are reading 15 bytes, and then we are printing it. So if I run the program, Java example 2, let me run from here. You can see users welcome. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15th might be an space. So let us see. Yes, 15th is an space. So it is reading from here. This is the fourth position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it is reading till this position from the file. If we mention that we want to read the complete file or we want to start from the beginning, then we have to change in the program. Now let us remove this. We do not seek. So if we do not seek, what will happen? Let us see. Now, if we run the program, you can see it is reading from the beginning of the file. Let me open the file, and you can see this is the original file and this is the output at the bottom. You can see at the bottom. So it is reading from here, 0th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So it is reading up to this length. So what is happening? If you try to understand, this is the first program. So it is very important that we understand it properly. We are creating a random access file class object. We are mentioning this, the name of the file. This is for reading. We have a byte array of 15. In this byte array, we are reading from the beginning, because whenever we read file, it starts from the beginning. And if we use it like this, then what will happen? We'll move to this position and then we'll start reading. If we do not use this, we'll start reading from the beginning. How much length will be read? This is the 15th character is there, so it will read 15 character. So if I change it to 5, what will happen? I'll read the first 5 characters. So first 5 character will be H, E, Y, space, and U. So let us see if it is happening like that. Yes, you can see it is printing the first 5 letters. So I hope this much is very clear to all of you. Now I'll move to the second example. Okay, so what is the second example? This is also extension of the previous only. Here we are opening, first we are opening this file, this is the array, and then we are reading. And in this read function, we are passing the offset as well as the length. So we are telling that we want to read from this position and this much length value, and then we are printing it. So I'll run it and see what is the output. So you can see we are moving to the 8th position. This is offset means position. So if in the read itself, we can mention the position and the size, then it will read from this position and only 3 letters, 3 characters are being read. What is there in the file? You can see in the file we have, hey users, welcome to this. And we are storing it from the 8th position. Actually, we are storing it from the 8th position, and offset is 8 and length is 3. So we are reading 3 letters and we are storing it from the 8th position in the array. And if we print, since we are reading only 3 characters, so it is HEY. Now I'll quickly come to one more example. In this, the size of the byte array we have increased. ReadFully is a function that will read the complete file. From where? From 0th position to the end. Length, rf.length will give the end of the file. So what we are doing, we are reading fully from the position 0 and to the position end, storing it in the byte array, and then we are printing it. Let us see if it is happening like that. Bytes. Yes, you can see, hey users, welcome to the file handling, and everything is getting printed properly. So this is how we can access different functions. So in the first program, we are looking into the seek function, read bytes printing. In the second program, we are making use of read with offset and length. In the third program, we are reading fully and storing it here. Now, I'll move on quickly to one more program. In this program, we are reading 2 files. One is the using 2 files. One is the source file, another is the destination files. The source file is file.txt, destination file is file2.txt. I'll delete file2.txt so that it is not available. I've deleted that. So whenever we are reading, this file must be available, and in this file we'll be writing in the file2.txt. So what we are doing, destination file.seek and .length we are giving. So we will place the file pointer at the end of the file's text. We'll keep the file at the end of the file text so that if it is something is already there, we can add. Now we have 2 bytes array, source file array and destination file array, because we read file data and store it into an array. Now in the source file, we are reading 50 characters and we are storing it in source, writing it into the source file array from the destination file. Try to understand this. See here, we have 2 files. One is file.txt, another is file2.txt. File.txt is the source file. That means we'll read content from the source file and we'll write it into the destination file. So where we want to write? We want to write at the end. So in the line number 20, we have used the seek and moved the pointer to the end. Now, whenever we read or write file, we need a byte array. So like file, source file and destination file, we have created two array also, source file array and destination file array. Now what we are doing, we are reading from the source file, storing it into the source file array. And now the content of the source file is in the source file array. We are writing the source file array content into the destination file. So destination file we want to write. Then we are bringing the file pointer of the destination file at the beginning, and we are reading it again to see what we have written, and then we are printing the destination file array so that we can see. If we do not use this, we can directly open the source destination file and see what we have written. That also is possibility. So at the moment, you can see that we have file.txt. Here we have file.txt, but we do not have file2.txt. Now I'll run the program. As soon as I run the program, you can see that file2.txt is created. In file2.txt, this is the content that is there. Hey users, welcome to the file. Now I'll come back to this program again. I'll run it again. I'll open file2.txt. See, since we have used the seek to write from the end, we are moving at the end of the file and then we are writing. If I run it again, if I run this program again, it will be written once again into the file. If you can see the file2.txt, see, it is writing it once again. So this is how we can read from one file and we can write it into another file. We have these functions that we have discussed. Today, there are some more functions that we can use it with the window programming. But before that, you have to run these files, try to learn every function that we have used so that it is very clear how we are using these functions in our program. And then once you understand this concept, we'll implement this into our project and we'll take a front end with the window programming, and in the back end, we'll use this files.